Hold on one second, Gustavo. What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
What?
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, what's up?
Let me just give me a second here to get set up. Okay. Just bear with me here.
No worries.
Page. All right, so we're gonna start with Gustavo, and Daniel will pick up. We'll pick up with you afterwards. So just hang out while we go through these things. Let me just grab my dog too. Sorry, he's chilling and stuff. Apologies. Got this new puppy.
What puppy?
He's a dachshund puppy, and he's chewing up some paper right now.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, he's awesome. Of course, he's been sleeping all this time. But of course, as soon as I go live, he has to wake up and start chewing on shit. Let me just get this set up.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah. Just gonna move this. Mm-hmm. All right, dope. Okay, awesome. So appreciate your patience, guys, getting this set up. As I said, we're going to start with Gustavo. You got some questions. And yeah, so Gustavo, why don't you start by running us through what we can help you with today?
Sure. Hey, can you hear me okay, Ryan?
I can.
Okay, great. So I'm working with a client in Minneapolis. It's a cool SEO project for a digital marketing agency. And when doing some research, I came across a specific result in Google Maps. So I wanted to share with you guys what I found and see. I'm really wondering what these guys are doing to rank for this keyword. Specifically, I searched for digital marketing Minneapolis, and one of the results that I found is a company named CP Digital.
CP Digital. Let me just pull up my browser here. Okay, continue.
And so I went ahead and did some checking in Right Local and Ahrefs to see what their numbers were. I was just surprised because with when I compared CP Digital with the other competitors, this guy don't have any real good numbers. Like, do you know how can I share my screen with
Yeah,
you?
if you just hit on the share, there's a green share button on the bottom bar there. If you click that, you can share your screen.
Share. Let me see 1 second, please. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So this is a few screenshots that I've got.
Okay.
But this is from Bright Local.
Okay.
So if you see this is like their links and website authority. I was trying to see what they had, and so you see, this is like the number of pages that they have indexed.
Okay.
I found that a lot of those pages are like garbage pages. Like they really have like only like 10 or 12 pages that are related to their main services.
Okay.
The other pages are just garbage.
What
Garbage.
can you define garbage? What's garbage?
Yeah, it is. Let me 1 second, please. If you do the cite command in Google, let me see if I can come up with the
Yeah, go ahead and
right.
pull that up for us.
Okay, so cite. It's .com. I think this is it. I got it. Okay, this is their site, and then there's just
We can't see it. You gotta change on the on the Zoom to share a different.
let me see. Sorry. Let me see where. I think you can't see it now.
No, sorry. You can just tell us so.
Okay. So there is the pages that I'm talking about are let me see. I'm trying to look for those. Are slash demo media pages.
Okay. So they're not value adding pages. I understand what you're saying.
No content at all.
And what is the keyword that you're trying to rank for here?
Digital marketing Minneapolis. I was looking for, specifically doing some research on different keywords. And this.
So the agency is trying to rank that for it. And what with your client, what page are you optimizing? Are you optimizing a home page, a landing page? What are you going after?
The homepage.
Okay. Let me just pull up this SERP result so I can take a look myself. Digital marketing Minneapolis. Okay, so I see from mine, I see the top 3 results are UpCity, which is top 15 digital marketing agencies in Minneapolis, Clutch, which is another aggregator site, top 20 marketing agencies in Minneapolis, then Indeed, which is showing me job listings. And are you looking at the maps pack here? Is that what you're looking? That's what you're trying to rank? Okay. So
yeah,
I see.
That's what
So that is going to be, if you're looking at that, site quality does play an effect in that, but that's also going to be pulling a lot from a different. So if you're only looking at the website for CP Digital there, saying that they have a lot of crap on their website, that's not going to be a direct one-to-one why they're not ranking in the maps pack, right? The maps pack has a different algorithm. It's looking at different things. So let me see. And I don't see them on the first page here either. So I don't even see them. So I mean, that's kind of my point, is that their website is not actually ranking in the organic listings. So what you're looking at is not going to be the right analysis factors for why they're not ranking in the maps pack, right? For the maps pack, you're going to be looking at things like reviews. You're going to be looking at things like citations. You're going to be looking at things like local mentions, right? So if they've gotten like some local press, stuff like that. Also just proximity from where they're searching, and just competitiveness in there. I know you don't want to list your client here, but I would say look at your client for what they're doing. You can just kind of tell me now if are you optimizing their GMB listing as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what have you done for that optimization for them?
I've been just reviewing their website, trying to clean their the number of pages that they have indexed in Google. So
Okay.
Whatever the pages show up in Google results are the quality pages.
Yeah.
Getting rid of all those garbage pages that they have. I'm using the I optimize the GMB for them, so the appropriate GMB category.
Okay.
And also making sure that all their, their NAP is aligned,
Okay.
whatever
And
they have,
how many
address, number.
have you gotten them any reviews?
Yes, I saw they have like 8 or 10 reviews currently, and
Okay.
I know we need to work on that too. Um, the average competitor has around 20 reviews in Google right now. But I was just wondering about CP Digital, because they only have like some. Well, according to Bright Local, they have like 229 citations,
Mm-hmm.
and average competitor.
So that's another thing too, is that citation volume. So the number of citations, to me, I just think about things like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't do a lot of local SEO. When I do local SEO, it's not for one location, it's for multiple locations. So it's actually a little bit easier that way, because you're aggregating like a list of pages. This fucking dog, sorry. You're optimizing a portfolio of pages, almost like a local directory, as opposed to just one page. So a couple things here. Number one is, I tell this to clients sometimes too, who get hyper focused on one competitor. They try and break down and they'll obsess over it. Why is this happening? The truth is, nobody knows. And trying to answer that question will drive you bananas. In the competitive analysis section in the module in the blueprint, I talk about this quite a bit, is that competitive analysis is great for initial research, but after that, you shouldn't necessarily be spending too much time. Like you spending this much time trying to figure out exactly what's ranking them. If you went to Google's top engineer, they would be like, dude, I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like the algorithm is so advanced, it's running on so many different algorithms that it's impossible to know, right? So all you can do is optimize your location and your listing in the best way possible, right? So I would say this. I would say, don't spend too much time looking at CP Digital and reverse engineering that. Literally just go through and follow like local SEO is not complicated. Just go through and do the things that will work for your client, and it will work. So again, one of those things is, a common misconception is getting too many citations, right? Like me as a user and you as a Google user, like if you're searching for anything locally, you don't care about like Brown Book, you don't care about like easy pages, like all these garbage citation pages that SEOs have convinced themselves are ranking factors. They're not useful, right? To me, you should be focusing on the useful citation pages that are relevant to that business and to that industry. So what that means for an agency, and when I say citations, I mean pages that support that business, and pages that, if you are a searcher, you would be happy going to that location, that citation listing, or you would be seeking out that citation listing to provide more information on that. So a perfect example of this is if you're looking for a restaurant, right? Yelp, right? Like you are going to look at Yelp to see reviews, to see photos. You're going to look at OpenTable. You're going to look at menu pages. There's all these different like citation pages that support that line of business that make sense to be there and to optimize those. So as opposed to 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000 pages and having to worry about like, is my NAP right? It's just, when it comes to SEO, it really is Pareto's principle. Like you want to focus on the things that are going to drive the most results, because you can spin your wheels and drive yourself crazy working on things that are just never going to produce results. And at the end of the day, your time is your money, and you can't spend your time doing things that aren't going to drive impact for your clients and ultimately drive your business forward, right? So like optimizing NAP and all those things, it's a waste of brain space for you, right? So focus on the 5, 10, 15, 20 citation pages that are actually going to drive more business for your customers and your clients when people find those. That means like for a digital agency, like a Yelp page, Facebook pages, right? Anywhere that you can get reviews, to me as an agency is a really big and important platform, right? Anytime that if you are looking for, and then like a Clutch, and Indeed, all these different places, right? That that's when I said, like when I look at these top results, the top 3 are UpCity, Clutch, and Indeed. That to me tells me everything that you need to know, right? Like when I'm talking about important citation pages, if the top 3 results in Google are all citation pages, maybe not citation pages from what Whitespark tells you or from what one of these companies who have a vested interest in selling you more stuff tells you it is. But that's what Google's telling you. That's what the algorithm is telling you. Those are the most important pages when it comes to that search. That's where you should be, right? So, even having the conversation with your client, because UpCity and Clutch, and Indeed, those are all somewhat pay to play platforms now, right? You can create a listing there. You should optimize that, but like you should be talking to them too about like being like, hey, look at like, I can't necessarily do this for you. This is going to take some extra work and resource on your side, but UpCity's ranking #1 for your main keyword. We can't outrank that, right? That's the top result. So instead of fighting it, instead of trying to deconstruct what everyone else is doing, you should be focusing on optimizing your UpCity listing. Like, how can you get them to #1 on that list? Go ahead.
Right. So you're talking about the top 3 organic results.
Yep. When I Google digital marketing Minneapolis, there's 4 ads. This is me. I'm in Miami and I'm on desktop, right? The first 3 organic on top of the maps pack. So again, what that tells you again too, like you have to understand what the SERP is doing. The SERP is telling you that the maps pack isn't the most important thing because a lot, like if you're looking for coffee shop Minneapolis, that's going to be all the way on top because user behavior tells Google that that maps pack is what people are looking for, right? But if you're looking at this SERP right here and these top 3 are all aggregator sites, just listing websites, then that's the SERP. That's Google telling you that this is what users want to see for that search, right? So figuring out how you can get them on UpCity, how you can optimize them, how you can get to the top of that page, because this UpCity listing is getting more clicks than anything else, right? And by not being there, you're doing a disservice to that business by not putting them on top of that list, right? So to me, go ahead.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that even though we are working for the local SEO strategy, we should care for those top 3 sites that are ranking organic.
I think when I look at SEO, like there was actually a really great, I posted in our Slack channel yesterday, Rand Fishkin just posted some data from JumpShot that talked about basically what's happening with the SERPs right now and how ads are taking over, how knowledge graphs are taking over. Like we have to start thinking about SEO more holistically and stop obsessing over small rankings in the maps pack, stop obsessing over small rankings over one keyword. It's about optimizing for organic presence in the SERPs period. And that means taking it wherever we can get it. And if that means that clutch is going to rank #1 for all of our keywords, then then like we should be focused on how we can get ourselves to the top of that clutch list, right? To me, that's part of organic optimization, right? So these are conversations you want to have with a client up front ahead of time. Just let them know, hey, I might need some extra resources to hey, look, we're going to build you. And this is something you can template out, right? This is something that we've done in the past. You just template out, you build a deck for like a clutch optimization strategy, and you can sell that to clients. Be like, here, like clutch is always going to rank #1. This is Google telling us that no matter what we do, we can't outrank this. But by the way, we've got a really good strategy that you can use to do that. You probably can't do it for them. Or you could take that upon yourself to do it, but like build that deck, build that strategy for them and sell that to them. You know what I mean? It's another way for you to make money, but it's also doing what's best for the client and it's understanding what SEO is right now, right? So like, again, just going and obsessing over this one, like what is this one website doing? Like you could spend weeks and you'll never know the answer to it, you know? Or you could say, what is the best route for my client to get the most eyeballs from organic sources possible, looking at that SERP holistically and realistically too. It's just taking one step back and being like, when I Google this keyword, what is Google telling me? And they're telling you exactly what you should be doing and where you should be, right? So to me, like the maps pack is important. And just to finish that thought too, I mean, like you still want to optimize their GMB and get them ranking there. It's clearly a big part of the SERP, but reviews, optimizing that GMB, getting photos up there, even having them do little things like posting like a status update there like every week, like all those little things that Google wants you to do, just do it, you know? And then of course, like the most impactful thing is links from local sources to the website, right? So like this is important too. Wherever you're linking your GMB page to, you're allowed to add one link from your GMB page to the website. If you're doing that to the homepage, if you're saying this is the home, like for this GMB listing, the homepage is the website source for this local thing, then you need to optimize that homepage highly locally. Like there should be a maps embed there. You should be getting locally driven links to the homepage, not to other places, right? Like you need to make that homepage the source of local for Google to understand and recognize that and then tie that to the maps listing, the GMB listing, you know what I'm saying? Which again is why it's easier to do this when you have 10 locations, because you can set up individual landing pages for those locations, set up a GMB page for each one of those and deep link those to those location pages. And then those location pages become your source of local on that website. But if it's for the homepage, again, the homepage has so much going on. You're getting links from everywhere. You want to optimize it. Because I remember on our last call too, we talked about optimizing your homepage to have a better UX, to have more conversion value, not just like, I want to rank for this keyword, right? Because once people get there, you want to convert them too. But if you're working with just the homepage, then that's what you got to do. So, optimize the hell out of that mouse pack and then figure out a way that you can get local links to that website, right? So maybe it could be local PR. It could be like donations. It could be just reaching out to local bloggers, other local businesses, right? Doing guest posting on local websites, like all that stuff they'll rank locally in 3 to 4 months. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. It just happened that the client found these guys, and they said, how come, these guys are so bad, and they're probably better than we are right now in terms of, numbers of links and citations and reviews.
Yeah.
Ranking,
yeah. And we talked about this last time too, right? This is like my goal for you, Gustavo, is dictating the conversations with clients. They're paying you because you're the expert. And like, I know it's hard. I'm not criticizing you, please. That's not what I mean by this, but the client is paying you because you know better than them, right? So it's a consistent education process with the client when they come to you and they're like pushing, because we go through this too at the agency. Like clients will obsess over details, and I have to constantly tell them like, yo, you're paying us for our time and you're wasting our time and therefore wasting your money by having us do things like this. Like, just forget about it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just like put it out of sight. It's like with my dog, when he's chewing on something, he gets obsessed with it. I take it, move it, and he's over it. Just take it out of their face. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a constant education process with them. It's difficult to do, but like establishing authority with the client in that relationship, just being like, look at like, if you guys want to spend your time doing this stuff, by all means, but like, I'm here to get you results and I'm here to optimize every facet of your business organically. And me spending my time looking at crap links on a crap website and trying to figure out why some AI-driven algorithm is ranking it, it's impossible. It's just not going to happen, right? So I know it's hard. It's like one of the hardest things to do, but like putting your foot down with that client and letting them know that they need to trust you. They're paying you because they trust you. Put their faith in you to do the right things, and for them to keep obsessing and wasting your time over that, to be like, you're getting billed for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting billed, you're wasting your money and your thought process on this. Like, who cares what they're doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy for clients to get obsessed with competitors, but like, even in my opinion, like who cares what they're doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a shit? Like, let's focus on us. Let's make this the best business that we possibly can. I'm here to do that. I'm here to lead that for you. If you don't get in line, then you're just going to waste your money, So,
yeah. Thank you.
No problem. I know it's hard, but it's a necessary conversation.
I get it. Yeah. And another question. So, do you know Web20 Ranker?
I do. Yeah, I know Mark Luckenbaugh.
Okay.
He's a friend of mine. Yeah.
What would you say? Because I've been getting offers for them. They specialize in helping with local SEO.
I've never used their service, so I don't want to comment on video about it, yes or no. I do know Mark. I do trust Mark. He knows local more than I do. So, I would say that you can trust him. Hey. But again, like, to me, I know they do links. To me, what you should be focusing on is building some sort of method for you to get, I don't want to say real local links, but like, there's like, one of my favorite methods to get local links is, it's in our link building module, what I talk about for attorneys, right? I call it like the pivot method, where basically, like, if I'm a personal injury attorney in Miami, I only do personal injury. I can do two things. I want to get on personal injury blogs, number one, personal injury sites, number one, and then sites about Miami, number two, right? I'm not going to get on another Miami personal injury attorney website because they're a direct competitor. But if there's another attorney in Miami who only does real estate law, there's an easy relationship that we can establish where I can write a guest post on their website. It's an attorney website. It's in Miami. And that would be an amazing link for me, right? And we're not competitors with each other, and I'm providing them content. So you can send them a pitch being like, hey, look at, so going back to the agency, right? Because this is more relevant for you now. I know you work with agencies, to establish some sort of process for you, for all your clients, and to get these types of links across the board, because you can go out and get vendor links all day. And I'm not saying anything bad about Web20 or any other vendors, but like, if you can go out and get a link on another business in Minneapolis's website, it's by far and away going to be the best type of link that you can get. So what you can do is just prospect for Minneapolis businesses, right? You can go to attorneys, you can go to accountants, you can go to, anyone, right? And and send them a simple pitch saying something along the lines of, like, depending on their sophistication, like, hey, my name is so-and-so with the business, do it on their behalf. I'm working on expanding the reach of our business locally. I write a lot of good content. Here's a few links. And then even something like, content is really important for today's internet. Like, I'm willing to write a post for you guys for free. Period. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that pitch usually has a really good success rate. You send that to 50 different websites locally that are business websites, like, you're going to get a few positive responses for sure. Just get some guest posts written. It could even be like, if you're pitching an accountant, just be like, I want to write a guest post about, like, how, I don't know, whoever their customers are can get more of what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Then just link back to the website. It's quite a bit of work, but the quality of those links, you get 3 or 4 of those links and you're Gucci for, like, forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, those links stick. Those links stick. And they're going to drive lasting rankings, like, much better than anything else you can find. So that is what I would focus on if I was you, because I know you work with a lot of agencies, is that figuring out a way in a system, no matter what market you're in, if you're just going after accountant websites, if you're going after attorneys, figuring out who that is that you can build those links with. And again, like, that's a huge platform for you too. Like, if you can then take that and go to your prospects and be like, there's nobody that can build better links than I can for digital agencies, because I have a system for getting on local businesses' websites. Here's 10 examples of that. And here's the rankings to show it. Like, that is going to be huge ammo and arsenal for you to sell some contracts in the future. Like, that to me is what really sells, right? Is that if you can build a niche with digital agencies, like, I would pay you for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could go out and get me links on Miami-based or Philly-based business websites, like, you can sell those for a lot of money, So that is what I would focus on. And then GMB optimizations. And then number 3 is figuring out what those additional citation pages are that your clients need to be present on. Those 3 things, to me, you're going to be killing it.
That's great advice, Ryan. Thank you. I appreciate it. Just one final question. We are trying to rank for 3 main services. So the marketing in Minneapolis, then SEO services in Minneapolis, and web development.
Yep.
The other 2, we have 2 specific pages for those services.
Yep.
And the homepage for the digital marketing. So how would you go about the other 2 services? I know you just mentioned, getting, real local links, but, you can only use one link for a GMB, business page. So how would you
So you're going to have to probably punt. What you're going to have to do, you've got a couple options. Number 1 would be, so like what I did, and this was a while ago, but like I was actually able to get, so Weber's had a web design GMB location in Miami and then an SEO location in Miami, right? And what I was able to do is use the office for the SEO location and use my apartment for the web design one, right? So you might be able to get by using like an apartment address of someone that lives there to do another one. That would be like your only option aside from going out and renting office space, which I don't think is worth it. Like these keywords, honestly, like don't have that much conversion value. It's not worth it to spend more than what ever it is you're investing in your SEO campaign on it. Or you just punt them. You just say, okay, if digital marketing is our main keyword, we're going to optimize the GMB for that. And then the other ones, we're just going to rank in organic search without the maps pack. You know, it's just not going to be an option, which is fine too. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need the maps pack. I think especially too in this space, because the maps pack is much better for people who are looking to go and visit somewhere in person. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm looking for a coffee shop in Miami, I would never click on an organic listing. I'm only going to click on the maps pack. But if I'm looking for a web design agency, I'm not going to go to the maps pack. I want to go to their website because I want to see their portfolio. I want to see their client lists. So in that sense, I think the maps pack isn't as important for what you're doing. So I think you should be okay with just optimizing those landing pages to rank for, you know, Minneapolis SEO, Minneapolis web development. And then, yeah, I mean, follow your best on-page practices. I've got really good videos in there in the on-page about how I did it for Webrist too, to get them to rank for multiple cities and multiple services. And then just links, man. Good links.
Okay. Okay, Ryan, that's all I have. Thank you. Awesome. I appreciate it. It's been great.
Absolutely. Daniel, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
How's it going, brother?
It's good, good, yeah. Let's see. Cute dog, by the way.
Thank you. You finally fell asleep.
I have a Labradoodle at home. Cool. So can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. So pretty much, I guess I'll just get right to it. So my main goal is to reverse engineer our competitors' backlinks. I got into SEO and content marketing a month and a half ago. Started researching it, and yeah, I just think link building is something really important for us at the moment. It's a new company. We're called mailgenius.com. It's a SaaS startup.
Yep.
Yeah, launching in July, but I want to start doing this already.
Yep, smart.
So yeah, so my question is, so let's say we have our competitors' backlinks over here.
Yep.
And we have all these like different factors you mentioned in the course, and just like, so from Ahrefs you have DR, URL rating. From Majestic, there's all the citation trust flow ratios, TTF, and we got the traffic stats on the domain level and URL level. So I just put the metrics right here. So what minimum filters would you set based on these when analyzing a competitor's backlinks, and what other ways would you filter out potential junk, and while taking into account, like, maybe, for example, like if CFTF is, point whatever, it's like it already cuts down like almost half of our prospects, which kind of
yeah,
kind of rough.
So a few things on metrics. Number one, my two biggest ones I look at, the biggest one I look at is organic traffic, for a number of reasons. Like if you were to look at the blueprint.training as a domain, brand new domain, it's not going to have any of those traditional SEO metrics, but we do traffic. And if you get a link on there, like, you're going to get traffic from that link, right? And to me, if I'm Google, if I'm an algorithm, I'm not looking at metrics that I didn't come up with. Like I really do believe that Google like sits back and they like look at all these companies and like look at the industry and kind of laugh, because they're like, yeah, that's cute. Like citation flow, like that's adorable. Like that's, it's a great sales tool, but like, we don't know what the fuck that is. You know what I mean? So I think that Majestic, Ahrefs, I love them. I'm in Moz, they're all great ratings, but I think that you have to look at them kind of in a silo and understand that kind of in a silo. I think for what, and it's better really more for competitive analysis to just kind of like if you're doing, for example, competitive analysis to understand like, hey, our competitors are these 5 competitors. Where are they ahead of us? You would look at those things like DR, like just to understand kind of like the overall authority, which again, I actually just saw an article where Google was like laughing at the word authority, because it's something that we've come up with. But to me, like, traffic is the measure of quality. Like if your website is getting organic traffic, it's a great website, right? So that is always number one. Organic traffic to me is number one. And the reason that's important too is because, like, forget SEO rankings. Like if you can get a link from a page that has rankings and traffic, you're going to get traffic from it. You know what I'm saying? Which is the end goal of what we're trying to do anyway. So like, why not skip all the bullshit and just go right to the traffic, right? So my shining metric is always organic traffic. Number 2 behind that, because I prefer to use Ahrefs, would be domain rating. And then URL rating would like 2.5 off the back of that. Just like, so domain rating would be like if you're analyzing an entire website. URL rating would be like if you're analyzing a specific page. And URL rating is important too, because like if you're going to be doing, so for example, what we'll talk about next is how you're going to leverage these competitor links to actually get links. So like if you were going to go to these competitors and, or if you're going to scrape these lists and then send a pitch to them to be like, either like Skyscraper to be like, hey, I see you're linking to, I don't know, Pitchbox or something, like, we've got a better guide to email marketing here. And I apologize, I don't know, like what is it you guys do exactly?
It's a free email deliverability testing tool.
I need
so essentially our product is going to be our main, piece of content at first, because we already, like it's made already. We don't have to pay for it, and a lot of our competitors' backlinks are literally just linking straight to the tool. One of them doesn't even have a blog, and they have like a DR.
Gotcha. So yeah. So in your sense, you're basically going to be using the Skyscraper method, right? To be like, hey, look, I see you linking to this tool. We've got a better one. Here's the link. So URL rating is going to be more important than domain rating to you. So I would make URL rating 2, domain rating 3. And the reason for that is because you're going to be getting links from specific pages that you already know ahead of time. So the URL rating is going to tell you the power of that page, right? The higher the URL rating, the more links that page has, the more traffic. That's going to be your top priority. And then domain rating off the back of that would just be like, you know, and even that, like, I think you don't even really need to look at DR just to like cut down on your metrics because of this tactic that you're going to be using. And then, sorry, actually, so I didn't see URL organic traffic. That would be number one. Because again, for what you're doing here, you're going after URLs that are already set. It's like either broken link building, resource page link building, or skyscraper method, where you're like getting them to, anytime you're getting somebody to replace a link on an existing page, you're going to want to look at the URL over the domain, right? Because that's, you know, where the destination is, right? If you're just doing competitive analysis, looking at your competitors' backlinks, just to kind of understand what the landscape is, how they're getting links, then you would look at domain over URL. You know what I mean? And then the ones down there like TFCF, I just don't think you need to go into it. Like, just because you're going to just get analysis paralysis by trying to filter too many things. And like you said, like, you're going to cut things off like just based on quality. That's not even quality. Like, I think at your point, when you have a new site, like, as long as it's not a toxic link, and anyone who's talking about this, unless it's like a scrape domain, because what you're going to find too is a lot of these domains are just kind of like if, for example, like Moz or Neil Patel, anytime a big website publishes an article, there's basically like domains that will scrape that content and republish it. If you've seen that yet, that's the exact carbon copy of like the article on Neil Patel's domain, Moz domain, like 10 of them, right? They just, I don't know, like PBNs or whatever it is, or just syndicated content, whatever it is, those are going to show up. You can just kind of like remove duplicates to get rid of those. But like, aside from those types of sites, then like, I wouldn't look at those metrics, because you guys just need links at this point. And as long as it's a real website with real content, then like it's a good, and even me too, like even on the biggest websites, like I'm always like kind of going back and forth at our agency, because we send these minimums to clients and we get in the same thing as you. Like, we're building links at, imagine, for 50 clients at scale. And like, we're cutting ourselves off the leg, because we're saying, when we're pitching these clients, like, we DR minimum of 20. Like, that in itself, as you know, cuts off a ton of websites. But it's easier to sell that to a client, because they're like, okay, they recognize that as a sign of quality. But in reality, really, we should be doing is looking at like, my number one metric is going to be traffic, right? My number two metric is what I call topical quality, which means going to each one of those websites and seeing if it's a real website, if they're regularly publishing content, like, who are they linking out to? Like, that's another big thing, because sometimes if you could have a DR 90 website, but if they're just like selling pages and articles on that website, they're going to be linking out to like mechanic websites, attorneys, like random shit that Google's going to easily know and just automatically devalue that, right? So I look at topical quality as number two, way over domain rating, way over TFCF, because if you're just looking at these metrics because you're now analyzing data in bulk, you're going to miss out on the fact that like, that website is probably garbage. You know what I mean? And they're just selling links, or they're PBNs, or like the Hoth is using them as a part of their network. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. So because a lot of these like old PBN vendors got smart, and they were like, well, we're not going to call them PBNs anymore. We're going to call it like guest posts, or we're going to call it sponsored. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just got smart and they turned them into real websites, but they're still selling links to whoever is relevant enough. So like, when I look at topical analysis, I'm looking at like, what is their top level navigation? Is it all relevant? Because like, a lot of times what you'll see when you go to one of these websites, it'll be like, this is, to me, is how you can tell when a link is bought. It'll be like, like the top level nav will be like, it'll be just the blog. And the top level nav will be like education, finance, fitness, health, marketing, and SEO. You know what I mean? Like, those 5 things, like, what kind of website is talking about all 5 of those things? You know, like none. So I'm looking at like the relevance of their content through their top level navigation. Like, what are they publishing? How often they're publishing? And then going into the actual posts and looking at it and being like, how long are they? Are they using images, links, internal links? And most importantly, who are they linking out to? You know what I'm saying? Because that to me is a dead giveaway if I'm Google. So like, if you're linking out to like all these different random websites, it's easy to tell that that's a paid link. So most importantly for you is managing your time and resources to get links on the right websites. Because what happens a lot in the algorithm now is that Google doesn't really penalize as much. They just ignore, which in the case that you're in, where like you're a startup, you need to use your resources as best as you possibly can. if you're doing things that are just not driving results, but you don't know, which means you're getting ignored, then that's even worse than getting penalized. Because when you're penalized, you at least know that there's a problem. You can go and fix it and then, learn from that lesson. So it's a very dangerous trap. So like to me, again, like domain rating, all these other metrics aren't going to tell you that. That's only from knowing like the topical quality. So it adds more work for you. I suggest, hire a cheap VA and like kind of run them through this process for like how to review a site topically and give it to them to review this list. We do it at the agency all the time, to review the topical quality of these websites. Like even make a little checklist, like is the top level navigation relevant? Are they linking out to relevant websites? Like, are their posts in depth? Are they using real images? You know what I'm saying? Like all like just a basic checklist for them to go through and then check off, and then just cross to check that against traffic. And then of course you can fold in these other things too. If it passes the topical quality and it's a high DR site, then like that would be on your top priority. You know what I mean? But honestly, man, either way, like I think that how many sites do you have prospected for?
There's three main ones that are really relevant to what we're doing.
Okay.
You go up to 10.
Okay. So here's what I would do. I was going to say, like, if you're just doing mass outreach, it doesn't matter because you're going to hit them all up anyways. I would take the time to write highly personal emails to each one of those sites and make sure that they know that it's not a spun email, just spinning their name through. So what I mean by that is, it takes more time. Like I would spend like 20 minutes on each pitch, because even that, like if you think about the impact that 20 minutes of your time could drive, but like looking at, do you have one that you could show me just as an example?
Just like I will show like an example of a page.
Of one of someone that you're going to pitch. I can like help you kind of think through the pitch, because the pitch is going to be the most important part here.
Well, actually, I don't think so. Let me see.
No worries if you don't. I can just give you some examples off the top of my head. But the pitch is going to be highly, highly important, because that's what's going to get people's attention. That's what's going to, get them to take action. But like, something that I will always do is always look for a person, like make sure that it's addressed to a person and make sure it's addressed to the right person. That doesn't always mean like if it's a big website, that doesn't always mean the author of the page. But somebody who can make the decision to go in and actually edit a page on a website, especially at bigger companies, like that's kind of a big deal. So like make sure you're finding that person, make sure you're personalizing it, find them on social media and follow them. Like that's why Twitter is such a valuable tool. Instagram is really good for it too. Like people in our industry kind of sleep on Instagram, but there's nothing more personal than Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like when people send me a DM on Instagram, I see it more than I see anything else. Like I won't see your email, but like if you DM me on Instagram, even if it goes to my like other box, I still see it and I'll still respond. So like even like potentially hitting them up on Instagram, like it's much better than, it takes more time. But it's much better than, sending an email in like either going to spam or just like getting ignored, so leverage social media to like connect with them, like at least a week before you send the pitch. And even like what I like to do, and actually a kid that I hired as a freelance content writer for me, he wrote me this amazing pitch. And what he did really well was he kind of like poked fun at himself, and like he just like basically called out the obvious beforehand. Like he wrote me a pitch, but like something that I would do is like if you follow him on Instagram, just be like, hey, so-and-so, my name's Daniel. I'm just letting you know, like in the next week, I'm going to be sending you a cold email pitch, like wink face, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of breaks the ice. Or like what you can do on Twitter a lot of times too, is if they're like sharing content, like retweet it, you know what I'm saying? Like retweet it with a personal note, like do something that can get their attention and add value to them in the right way before you send the pitch. So that way, when the pitch comes in, they're at least going to read it and be like, yes or no, and not just ignored. So, we lost him. We'll give him a second to come back in. But since I'm flowing, I'm just going to keep going. But yeah, I mean, that's really important for sending pitches. Going out and again, like finding them on social media, adding some sort of value to them before you're sending that pitch. And again, like even playing on the fact that, I'm going to be sending you a pitch, just like look out for it. Haha, like smiley face, whatever that may be. And then within the pitch too, this is really important. Is if you're going to ask for something, make sure you reciprocate. So like an example that I always use is I've got a pretty good following now on social media. I've got a good email list. I don't like to send emails, but if the pitch is big enough and it's important enough, then basically what I'll say is like, hey, look, I know I'm asking a lot for you. Like, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm asking you to stop your day, log into your website, find the page, edit it, and change a link. Like, that's a good 30 minutes of your time. And I respect that. And I appreciate that. So in exchange, I'm willing to add, if it takes you 30 minutes, I'm willing to add 3 times that value of my time to yours. And then like give them a list of things that you could do for them. So like with an hour and a half of my time, I could like, either like perform a service for them, which they'll probably say no to, or what's best is always going to be like, if you update this link, like we'll share it on our social media, we'll share it from our email list. Like we're going to drive traffic to that page. That's the easiest value proposition. Or if you don't have that, be like, hey, look we're still building our presence, but we're really good advertisers. Like we're gonna post this on our Facebook page, and we're gonna commit to $200 to boost this page to your audience. Like tell me who your audience is, tell me who your target is, and we will boost this them and drive traffic to your page. That to me is something that you can't say no to. Like it's kind of a no-brainer. And especially also if what you're asking them to link to is an actual valuable piece of content, a good tool, whatever that may be, then it's kind of a no-brainer. So that would be my suggestion. I know you dropped off, Daniel. You can ping me in Slack.
It's gonna be recorded though, right?
Oh, there you are. Yeah. I was just kind of riffing. You're back. Okay.
Yeah.
It's recorded. I'll make sure you get the recording. But basically, I was just talking about kind of like following up on the pitch and just making sure that you're offering value. Like you're asking them to do something that's not hard, but it's a pain in the ass. Like to ask somebody to go in and edit a website, like it's kind of like, damn, dude, like I'm going to do like it's going to take like 20 minutes of my day. You know what I mean? So just make sure that you're offering them something that's going to make it worth their while. Don't be like, I'll offer you money for it unless they ask for it, because it's kind of a little bit, I don't know, that frowned upon, I guess. But what I was saying is that like if you don't have an audience that you can promote their content to, like just be like, we're going to spend $200 on a Facebook advertising campaign, driving traffic to your page. Like tell me who your target audience is. We're really good marketers. We'll set up the ads. You'll see traffic. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, $200, even up to $500, like that to me is what is still less than you would pay for a PR placement, a link on a high authority website. Like you're paying like $1,500 to $3,000 for a link on Forbes that no one's going to see. But if you find a high traffic page that's ranking for keywords that you want to rank for, that is talking about the exact keywords that you want to rank for, and it's going to drive traffic to you right away. The long-term value of that traffic, if you think about buying that traffic on Facebook or AdWords, whatever, like it's way less than $500. So if you frame it that way, then you can start to think about like all the different value that you can add to them based on the reciprocated value that you would get from having that link placement. And if you can't invest the money, then invest the time. You know what I mean? Like figure out something that's going to make it worth their while to go into their website and take action for you. So, yeah.
Cool. And so essentially like you would, here, let me just share my screen again. Anyways, I'll just say it. So when you filter and you decide who to prioritize, you just, let's say you have like my Excel list, and then you just click on UR and you just descend by that. And then is there like a point where you think it's not worth personalizing anymore, or a URL where it's like why would you?
Yeah. I would say so. Like the links that you refer to, and you said like there's 3 to 10 that are really important. I would call those PR over link building tactics. Anything that's going to drive immediate traffic, like to your website, I would call that PR, and that's going to require a highly personalized pitch. But anything that's just going to be driving like long-term SEO ranking value, I would just like load it up into Pitchbox or whatever email outreach tool you're using, or if you're using an outreach manager in Gmail, just like send them a list, be like, make sure you personalize with their names. But aside from that, like just fire them out. Those are pure link building tactics. I actually did a campaign for myself this past weekend where I was just sending out like requests that like, I just scraped a huge list from Pitchbox. I was like, man, the blueprint really needs some links for SEO equity. Like, let me just email 100 bloggers talking about SEO and be like, hey, I'm just going to be straight up with you. Like, my name is Ryan Stewart. Like, I got money. Like, let's talk business. Like, how can I get featured on your website? And I got like 20 links out of it. You know what I mean? I paid for them, but the long-term SEO value, I understand it's gonna pay off. So The link building is different than the PR stuff. Like when I'm promoting a very specific piece of content, like you are, like this traffic projection tool that we launched like 3 months ago, like I did it for like influencers in the SEO space. Like I used follower wonk. I found like, I already knew who they were too, but I found like the top influencers in the space with followings. And I sent them all personalized emails. I'm like, I've been following you on Twitter for a while. We met at a conference here. Like I like made sure to like personalize it that way. And then I was like, look, like you have a great Twitter following and I want to leverage it like selfishly. Like what can I do to make it worth your while? And some people were like, yeah, you can help me with this. Some people were like, nothing, like I'm happy to do it for free, blah, 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 whatever. But that I consider that like more of a PR pitch where I like go through and I sent those by hand, me personally in Gmail. Took 2 hours of my time, but like, man, does it pay off? You know what I mean? Like it really does.
Right. Cool. So, so something I've been struggling with is, so we're a new company, we're bootstrapped, and I just decided to just fully take on content marketing SEO. And like from my research, like this past month and a half, my biggest struggle has just been deciding what to spend my time on initially.
Mm-hmm.
There's sort of three main buckets that I kind of narrowed it down to. One is creating kind of like non-SEO focused content, and promoting the shit out of it pretty much, even though it's like not organic traffic and not sustainable. But we can get a lot of short-term wins from that. Second is creating SEO focused content. And the third is literally just putting all my time towards link building, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, do you think it would be wise to so I have like 12 hours a day, like, do you think it's wise to literally like put all those 12 hours into building links to our root domain at first? Or would you do it a different way? My thought process, like, Bootstrap is cheaper than creating content. Plus, we don't really know what terms we want to rank for, since we're so early in the company's life cycle, and we don't really see what people are willing to pay for. So it's like, would you spend 12 hours on building links every day as someone in charge on content?
I would not, and here's why. So I don't see link building as like link building to me is something that like you can, and this is just how my brain works too, because I'm juggling multiple companies now. Some of them are far along. We have a budget. Some of them are startups, what have you. So I'm in a similar position, but the way I budget my time is I sprint. I like to go deep on something and sprint it out. So like with link building, like I said, I spend probably 4 hours a month on link building for my portfolio of companies. Luckily, they're all in the same like batch of marketing business type thing, so it's a little bit easier. But I don't spend more than 4 to 8 to 10 hours a month, and that's like a 1 or 2 day sprint. Like I like to spend 12 hours a day with your level of understanding would be a waste of your time and resources. If that's how much you're going to spend, like honestly, you're better off going out to hire somebody to do it and help you out. So definitely no on link building. It's really important. But I mean, I would like, to me, content, like what I've had a huge realization for this year is there's really two elements of marketing right now. It's content and promotion. Like within those two things are a whole universe of everything. But like when you look at content promotion, like link building falls under promotion, SEO falls under promotion, but like content is really like the engine and the glue for everything, and then promoting that content, right? So like you're at mailgenius.co. Is that you?
.com.
Okay.
Yeah, we're the product is going to launch in July. Engineers are working on it still.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should be creating content, number one. Like if you're an email tool, I don't think you can go wrong by just saying like anything in the email ecosystem is going to be important for you. So I think like right now, before you launch, before you have just a shitstorm of like everything once the business is launched, is like spend the time on strategy. Like do your keyword research. You know what I'm saying? Like come up with your keyword universe for like everything in the email ecosystem. And then prioritizing that by like what is going to drive traffic and conversions for us right away. You've already got the tool figured out, right? Like that's a big part of it. So like figuring out like, and then I will go into like what's going to be your launch campaign for that. You know what I'm saying? Like outreach is going to be a part of it. Advertising is going to be a part of it. Should be a part of it for sure. And like even looking at things like outreach to people like myself and like figuring out so I don't want to badmouth any email platforms out there, but I'm using an email platform right now that's having really big issues with deliverability, like really, really big issues. It's becoming a really big issue. as you well know, for a lot of reasons. But like, so all of our campaigns are running fine, but basically after a contact goes through a campaign, like Blueprint free trial, it'll have fine deliverability. But once it gets added to our newsletter and we send out blasts, goes through the floor, right? So like building content for those people, you know what I'm saying? Like how to improve your your email. I can't even say that word, email deliverability rates. You know what I'm saying? Like doing that based on like by platform, you know what I'm saying? By Active Campaign, by Infusionsoft, like digging out those keywords and then building those into like a content plan and then mapping that to like what's going to be the best way to get people to see this. A lot of those are going to be SEO, right? Like people are going to be searching for like how to improve deliverability on Active Campaign. Active Campaign is going to rank for it. But me as a user, like if you can get on the first page and I see like Active Campaign like has all their help stuff, which generally isn't helpful, and then there's somebody down there like who's like just jacking those keywords and being like, you know, like how to really get your Active Campaign deliverability rates up. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 steps. Like I would click on that every time. You know what I'm saying? And then that is an easy either pivot to conversion or like the remarketing off that is baller. You know what I'm saying? So like building those like strategies, it's all going to hinge on content. And then off the back of that too, like the promotion for that is going to be SEO, but some of those are going to be straight through advertising or through influencers. You know what I'm saying? So like really getting deep, and it starts with keyword research, and then content mapping, and then like content production, like how are we going to get this stuff written? Again, like I probably wouldn't suggest that you write. If you're really, really bootstrapped, then you can write it. But if not, like it's worth the investment to go to like earmark $5,000 to like get a good content writer, to like give them a list of content and be like, here, write this. Start publishing it, getting it indexed, you know, getting links to those pages, promoting those on. So like everything that you can do. It's never too early. You know what I'm saying? But it does to me, like it starts with the strategy. It starts with keyword research. And then like once you understand the keyword research, then like doing some research on social media, you know, seeing what people are talking about. There's a really good graphic again that showed like email delivery. Like if you can get unique data too, I don't know if it's possible, you might be able to scrape it online, but like every major email platform, like showing their deliverability rate over time. Like I saw a really powerful graphic that showed that Infusionsoft put out. And I refused to use Infusionsoft after like my initial experience with them. But like it even had me considering migrating back because it showed their deliverability rate versus Active Campaigns over the last 5 years, and Active Campaigns just plummeting, right? So like looking at email, like going after those email platform specific keywords, even comparison guides are really good for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like anything in email space. If you're saying that, like, are you guys going to become an email platform? Like,
No.
are you okay?
It's literally a tool where let's say you send a cold email or you run a newsletter, you would send a test email to our tool, and then it would kind of like make sure you're following best
Gotcha.
email practices.
Gotcha.
Advice if you're not, and tell you exactly how to fix your problems.
Got you. Okay, so there's going to be consulting off the back end of it too?
Yeah, like we're going to be pretty busy, but we're probably going to take on like big consulting deals because like we're bootstrapped, so
Yep.
it would help to have that guy.
No, it's smart, man. I think that using the tool as a lead in to land those deals is awesome. I mean, I'm always a big fan too of like we do it at the Blueprint. I mean, like we have tools and stuff, but like we sell consulting deals on the back of it too because people ask for it. You know what I mean? And it's an easy way to make high margin cash. But yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. Again, like it's like content, like definitely content, you know, content for SEO, content for social, content for like another really good one for you guys is going to be comparison guides. Comparing email platforms. It works really like on the Blueprint. I actually went out and I bought a post. So what I did was I was Googling, just doing keyword research for the Blueprint. Like, and one of the things that I came up with was, again, same thing. Like, who is my audience and what are they searching for? Like, I'm not going to ever compete with an Ahrefs, but I can talk about them and I can rank for it. You know, like Ahrefs guide, Ahrefs versus SEMrush. Those are things that like deep in the funnel of my audience is searching for, at like agency owners, SEOs. That's the information they need. So we went out and built Ahrefs versus Moz versus SEMrush on the Blueprint. And now it ranks and it drives so much traffic. And then like the conversion value off that isn't great, but I know that anyone who goes to that page is my audience. So that's incredibly valuable for our remarketing funnel. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of like understanding the entire life cycle and how you can reach those people over time. It's not all about like, what are we going to rank for that's going to drive conversions tomorrow? It's what is the entire universe of keywords and content, and how does that fit into the life cycle of our customers, and like, where does it need to live and how do we need to promote it? And that to me is like, it's marketing in a box, you know?
Yeah. So what is like if you build like a high domain? I know Google lost it, but like whatever, like DR, and you have a shit ton of links from high quality sites. Like, what's the benefit of that? Is it that you rank a lot faster for anything you put out? Like, why would
Yeah. So like, why would you want to get a link from Forbes? Is that?
what's the benefit to having a higher DR site? Do you rank faster for everything you put out
Yeah.
there? Not forever.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but it's yeah. I mean, like in that. So I have multiple domains now. Webris, Ryan was here, Blueprint, From the Future Agency. They're all in like the SEO marketing space. And what happens too is based on the links and based on the content that you publish on those domains, they pick up relevancy and they pick up authority. So when I have a post now that I want to get out, I have 4 different domains that I can publish it on based on the like how quick I want it to rank. So a lot of times if there's something that is a pure SEO play, my domain Webris is incredibly powerful now. It's 6 years old. It's got links from Moz everywhere in the industry. I'll publish it there and I don't have to get like links to it to get it to rank. But on the Blueprint, it's going to take, it's a new site. Like I got to go out and build links to it, which is fine because there's some things that I really need to live on the Blueprint for conversion value. But yeah, in a nutshell, it's just that. It's that if you can go out and get PR links, it's good for the brand and it's good for the long-term authority of the website, which pushes into your SEO quickness to rank, I guess.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on promoting content that we're literally like we're not creating it to even rank anywhere necessarily, but it's just extremely high quality and useful for our audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like one of the members of our team is an email deliverability consultant. He was a freelancer before this, and we can literally publish the email deliverability audit he goes through step by step. But it's like there's not a lot of like keywords for that necessarily. But
Yeah,
just
I mean,
do you think it's worth it?
yeah, absolutely. Definitely. If it's for your audience, you just have to, like I said, you have to understand at what part of the journey and how you can get in front of them. So for something like that, if you've got like an email sequence, like if you give away your tool for an email opt-in, like you put that as a part of like the nurturing sequence on the email opt-in. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a piece of content that someone's going to read and be like, oh shit, these dudes know what they're talking about. Like you have to get them to see it. Right. So that's what I was saying is like understanding your entire content and keyword universe. It's not just about SEO. It's about the content that your audience needs to see. Right. But it's about how, so like you can advertise it, you can put it on social media, you could use it as a guest post somewhere, hypothetically, if you really wanted to. But some things have to live on your domain. So if it's something that you really need as like a nurturing piece and you put it as part of an email sequence, an email blast, whatever that means, you put it on your top level navigation, you know what I'm saying? Like as a resource guide, something that people who know and understand and value your opinion will read and push them even further into your ecosystem. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. Awesome. Cool. So last question is if I want to kind of like save a little bit of money and use BuzzStream instead of Pitchbox, is that like you think is that a good tool to kind of like input all my domains and go over them one by one, or like how would you save the most time? Like what would be your process of going through every website? Would you just do going through the website and then the spreadsheet, or kind of like BuzzStream and one by one inside of that tool?
Since you're only working on one domain, like I love Pitchbox. It's one of my favorite tools, but Pitchbox is not going to be a good fit for you guys because it's expensive and you're only working with one domain. BuzzStream is a good solution for that. But even more, I mean, like I sometimes just like to get like a really highly trained VA, like where you are right now. If you could get somebody who could help you kind of like take some of the stuff again, like I understand you're bootstrapped, I understand you're a startup, but there's still things that are just not worth your time, you know? And going through sites manually one by one, you will do it the best. But if you could be focused on like, again, like architecting, like what your entire marketing strategy is going to be and like how you're going to get the most eyeballs on stuff, going through a website one by one is not a good use of your time. And it's worth paying somebody $5 an hour to do it, you know? And then kind of building a small team like that you can trust and rely on and then build up and scale over time. That's just my opinion on it. But like, aside from that, I think that you can just use a spreadsheet, you know, like BuzzStream is great. I love BuzzStream. It's a great tool, but like if I'm looking at using a spreadsheet and a human for like the same price, I'm always going to go with the spreadsheet and a human.
Right. And would you use Hunter.io to find the emails?
I love Hunter. Yeah, Hunter.io is great. And Dave and I are actually working on a Sheets tool now because Hunter.io has a really good API. We're going to launch it this summertime. That's going to be basically like a hacked prospecting tool that'll have all that stuff. So hopefully in the next few months we can get that to you. But for the time being, like what you're doing now is cool. And even if you, like I said, I mean, like even like if you're really bootstrapped or if you just want to do it yourself because you know you'll do it better, there's nothing wrong with that. I still do it. Like I'm sitting here saying this, but yet I spent like part of my day on Sunday prospecting for pitches. You know what I mean? And I just use a spreadsheet. I literally, not a sales pitch because you're already in here, but like I literally use the exact same spreadsheets that we give you guys in the blueprint.
Gotcha.
That's how I manage all my link building across all my sites.
Yeah, it's awesome to just have that database like you mentioned in the training. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean this has been super helpful. So yeah, thank you, appreciate it. And yeah, I don't know if anyone's gonna be watching outside the blueprint, but this course is literally amazing. Like it's just everything is systemized, so you should check it out.
Appreciate that, man. All right, brother. I appreciate your time. Happy to have you on. We'll chat in the Slack channel, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, take care, brother.